Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! Hank stared at the invitation on his phone, the digital glow mocking his reluctance. It had been 3 months since the breakup with Sarah, a messy unraveling of accusations and slammed doors that left him nursing wounds in a cramped apartment. The party was at a mutual friend's loft downtown, the kind of gathering where old faces resurfaced like ghosts. He debated skipping it, but isolation had worn him thin, and the promise of free drinks tipped the scale. Slipping into a faded button-up and jeans, he headed out, the city lights blurring past his taxi window. The loft buzzed with laughter and clinking glasses, music pulsing through the air like a heartbeat. Hank wove through clusters of people, grabbing a beer to steady his nerves. That's when he spotted her. Sarah, radiant in a sleek black dress, her arm linked with someone new. His stomach twisted, but before he could retreat, she turned, her eyes widening in surprise. "Hank? Wow, it's been a while." Her voice carried that familiar lilt, now laced with polite detachment.
"Yeah, hey. Didn't expect to see you here."
He forced a smile, shifting his weight. She gestured to the woman beside her, tall and poised with sharp features and a cascade of dark curls. "This is Megan, my girlfriend. Megan, this is Hank, my ex." Megan extended a hand, her grip firm and warm. "Nice to meet you. Sarah's told me a bit about you. Nothing too scandalous, I promise." The conversation stumbled along, awkward pauses filled with small talk about jobs and weather. Hank mentioned his freelance graphic design gigs drying up, the bills piling like unanswered questions. Megan's eyes lit up. "I'm a professional makeup artist, building my portfolio for a big agency pitch. I need male models for some transformative looks. Nothing crazy, just to show range. Pays well, like $500 for a session. Interested? You have great bone structure." Desperation outweighed his hesitation. Rent was due and his savings were a joke. "Sure, why not? When?" "Tomorrow afternoon at my studio. Here's the address." She scribbled it on a napkin, her smile encouraging. The next day, Hank arrived at the converted warehouse space, sunlight streaming through tall windows onto racks of clothing and shelves of cosmetics. Megan greeted him with coffee, her energy infectious. "Thanks for coming. We'll start simple. Some foundation, maybe contouring to highlight masculine features." But as she worked, the simple evolved. She blended shades on his skin, her brushes dancing with precision. "Trust me, this is going to pop in photos." Then came the hair. She sectioned his short locks and attached long blonde extensions, weaving them seamlessly until waves of golden strands framed his face. "Blonde suits you. Brings out your eyes." Hank glanced in the mirror, unsettled by the unfamiliar reflection. "This is different." "It's art," Megan replied, her tone reassuring. "Now for the outfit. I need to see the full transformation for the portfolio." She led him to a changing area, handing over a pink satin dress, its fabric shimmering like candy floss. "Try this on. It's A-line, flattering for the shots." He hesitated, but the promised payment echoed in his mind. Slipping into the dress, the satin cool against his skin, he felt exposed, ridiculous. Matching stiletto heels followed, wobbly on his feet, and a bow headband in the same pink hue perched atop the blonde waves. Emerging, he expected laughter, but Megan's eyes sparkled with approval. "Perfect! You look like a living Barbie doll. Let's get some poses." She adjusted the headband, fluffing the dress's skirt. The camera clicked, lights flashing. But as the session stretched, something shifted inside him. The humiliation ebbed, replaced by an odd comfort. The way the fabric swished with each movement, the heels forcing a graceful sway. He caught his reflection again, and for the first time, it didn't feel like a costume. Megan lowered the camera.
How do you feel? Be honest.
It's weird, but not bad. Kind of freeing. The words tumbled out, surprising him. She nodded thoughtfully. Sometimes these transformations reveal hidden parts of us. If you like, we can explore more. No pressure. The session ended, but Hank didn't change back. The dress felt right, the blonde hair a soft curtain he didn't want to part. Megan suggested keeping the look for a bit, offering to walk him home. On the street, heads turned, but the stares bounced off him like rain. That night, alone in his apartment, he twirled in front of the mirror, the pink satin catching the lamplight. A name bubbled up unbidden. Kaylee. It fit, like the dress, like the heels clicking on the floor. The next morning, Kaylee woke with a resolve she hadn't known before. She couldn't go back, wouldn't. The male clothes in her closet seemed foreign now, relics of a life that no longer resonated. She texted Megan. "Can we do more? This feels real." Megan responded eagerly, inviting her over. At the studio, they delved deeper, perfecting makeup techniques, layering on eyeshadow in soft pinks and gloss that made her lips shimmer. "You're a natural," Megan said, demonstrating how to blend concealer for a flawless base. Kaylee practiced, her hands steadying with each stroke, the blonde extensions swaying as she leaned in. They spent hours selecting accessories, delicate earrings that dangled like whispers, a necklace with a heart pendant that rested against the dress's neckline. Megan shared stories of her own journey in the industry, the challenges of breaking into a competitive field, and Kaylee listened, feeling a kinship she hadn't anticipated. "Sarah mentioned you were creative. Maybe this is your canvas now." Emboldened, Kaylee ventured out that evening, still in the frilly pink A-line dress and bow headband, the stilettos now feeling like extensions of her stride. She stopped at a cafe, ordering a latte, the barista's smile genuine. "Love your outfit. Very retro chic." Sitting by the window, she sipped her drink, watching passers-by. A group of friends laughed nearby, and one waved her over. "That dress is adorable. Where'd you get it?" Kaylee chatted effortlessly, her voice softening into a lilt that matched her appearance. The conversation flowed to fashion tips and favorite spots in the city, and for the first time in months, she felt seen, not as a shadow of her past self, but as this new version blooming. Back at the studio the following day, Megan introduced wardrobe expansions. "Let's build your style." They rifled through racks, pulling out more pink pieces, a satin blouse with ruffled cuffs, a skirt that twirled like a dream. Kaylee tried them on, each one reinforcing her comfort, the blonde hair a constant, unchanging crown. Megan snapped more photos, but now it was less about the portfolio and more about capturing Kaylee's emerging confidence. As days turned to weeks, Kaylee integrated this into her routine. She updated her freelance profiles with new headshots, the blonde waves and subtle makeup drawing inquiries for design work with a feminine flair. Clients praised her fresh perspective, and gigs trickled in, easing the financial strain that had pushed her here. One afternoon, while experimenting with nail polish in shimmering rose, Megan confided, "Sarah was surprised when I told her about this. She's happy for you, you know. Kaylee paused, brush hovering. Really? After everything? Yeah, breakups are hard, but growth comes from unexpected places. They shared a quiet moment, then moved to practicing walks in different heels. Kaylee mastering the art of poise, the pink dress her constant companion. Venturing further, Kaylee attended a local art exhibit, the invitation from a new acquaintance at the cafe. In her pink satin and stilettos, she mingled, discussing paintings with strangers who complimented her look without a hint of mockery. One artist, a woman with vibrant tattoos, struck up a conversation about color theory, and they exchanged numbers, promising coffee. At home, Kaylee rearranged her space, clearing out old clothes, replacing them with finds from thrift shops, more dresses in pastel hues, all complementing the blonde extensions she maintained meticulously. She learned to style the hair herself, twisting it into elegant updos adorned with bows, the headband a staple. Megan became a mentor, teaching advanced techniques like false lashes that fluttered like butterflies and lip liners for perfect pouts. They collaborated on a mini photo shoot series, Kaylee posing in various settings around the studio, each click affirming her path. One evening, as twilight painted the city in purples, Kaylee reflected on the bitter breakup that had led here. It stung less now, a distant echo. She slipped into a new pink dress, this one with lace trims, and headed to a small gathering Megan hosted. Friends from the makeup world mingled, and Kaylee found herself at ease, sharing laughs over appetizers. Sarah arrived unexpectedly, her expression a mix of curiosity and warmth. "You look amazing," she said, hugging Kaylee lightly. "I'm glad you found this." The night unfolded with stories and music, Kaylee dancing in her heels, the satin swirling. It was a bridge mended, not in romance, but in mutual respect. As her confidence grew, Kaylee explored hobbies aligned with her new self, joining a book club focused on fashion history, where members admired her ensembles. She read voraciously, pages turning under manicured nails, the blonde hair falling over her shoulders like a veil. Work flourished, too. A client commissioned a series of illustrations inspired by vintage dolls, and Kaylee poured her experiences into the art, the pink motifs echoing her wardrobe. Feedback was glowing, leading to more opportunities. Megan suggested a road trip to a nearby cosmetics convention, and Kaylee agreed, packing bags with her favorite pink outfits. The drive was filled with sing-alongs and deep talks, the highway stretching like possibility. At the convention, booths brimmed with products, and Kaylee sampled perfumes that smelled of vanilla and roses, her stilettos clicking on the polished floors. She networked, handing out cards with her updated name and photo, the blonde extensions catching lights from overhead. Back in the city, she volunteered at a community theater, helping with costumes, her eye for detail shining. Actors praised her suggestions, and she even assisted in makeup for a production, the stage lights warm on her skin. One rainy afternoon, curled up with a sketch pad, Kaylee drew self-portraits, capturing the curve of the dress, the bow headband's whimsy. It was therapeutic, each line a step deeper into acceptance. Megan introduced her to online communities of transformative artists, where Kaylee shared her journey anonymously at first, then openly, receiving support that bolstered her. Seasons shifted. Autumn leaves fell as Kaylee strolled parks in layered pink cardigans over her dresses, the heels navigating paths with ease. She adopted a small routine of morning affirmations, staring into the mirror at the blonde-haired woman who stared back, strong and content. Friendships deepened. A coffee date with the tattooed artist turned into regular meetups, discussing life and dreams. Kaylee opened up about her awakening, finding empathy and shared stories. At a holiday market, she browsed stalls, purchasing a scarf in soft pink to match her headband. Vendors complimented her style, one offering a custom brooch that pinned neatly to her dress. Work calls increased. A magazine reached out for freelance illustrations, impressed by her portfolio's feminine touch. Kaylee negotiated terms confidently, her voice steady. Megan hosted a New Year's party, and Kaylee arrived in a sparkling pink gown, the satin glistening under fairy lights. Toasts were made to new beginnings, and as fireworks lit the sky, she felt a profound peace. Spring brought blooms, and Kaylee planted a small garden on her balcony, tending flowers in her dress, dirt under nails painted coral. It symbolized growth, roots taking hold. She attended workshops on self-expression, sharing her story in small groups, inspiring others. The blonde hair remained her signature, unchanged, a beacon of her transformation. One weekend, Megan proposed a collaborative project, a blog on makeup transformations, with Kaylee as the model and co-writer. They brainstormed ideas late into the night, excitement bubbling. As the blog launched, responses poured in, positive and encouraging. Kaylee managed comments, engaging with readers, her world expanding. Summer heat waved in, and she adapted with lighter fabrics, always pink, always feminine. Beach outings in sundresses, the sand warm under heels traded for wedges, but the essence unchanged. A surprise invitation came from Sarah to a double date with friends, platonic and light. Kaylee accepted, the evening filled with laughter at a cozy restaurant, bonds reforming in new ways. Personal milestones marked time. Learning to bake, flour dusting her apron over the dress, yoga classes where poses flowed gracefully in leggings under skirts, adapting seamlessly. Megan gifted her a custom makeup kit, personalized with pink cases, and they spent an afternoon organizing it, labeling each item. Kaylee's apartment evolved into a haven, walls painted soft hues, mirrors reflecting her image everywhere, reinforcing identity. A chance encounter at a bookstore led to a writing group where she penned short stories of change and discovery, drawing from her life. Finances stabilized with steady work, allowing indulgences like spa days, where technicians admired her look while pampering. As fall returned, she reflected on the year, gratitude filling her. The bitter past faded, replaced by vibrant present. Hope you enjoyed the story so far. The rest will be available on Patreon.